Hey team, Uwe Jacobs, property strategist from Property Friends. Welcome, it's been a while. The first live in quite a while. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so what's the update for April 2023? Well, I guess the big news is the building industry is going through some jitters. Porter Davis, the 12th largest builder in Victoria, with also contracts in Queensland, has gone belly up. Now, never a good thing. Why did it happen? Largely because they took on too much work under the home builders grant, mainly in Victoria. Big subsidies were available. They signed up lots and lots of people. Then came the pandemic, the big price increases, and they were locked into fixed term and moreover fixed price contracts. Now, the price increases coming through from the trades and subcontractors made it very, very challenging, and it would so for anybody. So they've hit the wall. What does that mean? Well, the biggest effect is really the small contractors and subcontractors that will largely go empty-handed. That is the real pity when things like that happen. It hits the smaller contractors most. The consumers are generally protected through the state insurances, and please be careful. There is a big variance from state to state in the building insurances. For example, in Tasmania, as we speak, there is no building insurance. So you as the consumer or buyer or purchaser are not protected in Tasmania. A really big point. Make sure that you understand the state laws and as much as possible have protection through the builder's insurances that cover you, the consumer, for a eventual bust up of the builder. The builder takes out that insurance, make sure that you have the certificate. That certificate should be issued latest when the site work starts. So upon site work, you should have in your hot little hands the building certificate insured for and paid for by the builder. In most states, that's legislation. As I said, there's variances between the states. Why this is not a federal law, I don't know. But be careful in Tasmania, there is no protection in Tasmania. Will there be hiccups that will go through the market because of several big builders going bust? Yes, no doubt. However, generally speaking, the property investment market is very, very, very sound, my view. With rental vacancy of about 1 or under 1% Australia-wide, there, in my humble opinion, cannot be a collapse of the property investment market. In fact, it is going to be very, very interesting what will happen in the next 12 to 18 months. Australia is opening up for migration again. There are figures bandied around, depending who you believe, between 135 and 600,000 migrants and migrant workers coming into Australia over the next years. So what is that going to do to the rental market that is already tight as a drum already? Well, it's just going to get tighter. So it'll be very interesting. Some so-called experts forecast a resurgence, a strengthening, another boom in 12 to 18 months. Now, personally, I can't quite see that because the economy is not going so well with the big interest rate rises, and I'll cover that in a minute, that we have experienced so far. But there is very low unemployment, and when you look at the overall status of the market, we're going extremely well. Now let's look at interest rates. Let's look at the RBA. So very much I have to admit, my surprise, there was no change today. So we are continued to sitting at 3.5%. The first time in over a year that we have not had an increase. Personally, I have to admit, I expected one more increase of 0.25%, but the RBA has decided to leave the rate unchanged, which I think is also created or an effect of major banks around the world going bust. So the lending scheme is also getting very, very tight. The combination of all of that has obviously slowed down the investment sufficiently for the RBA liking, so that they decided not to change the rate. What does that mean? Well, what it means is at the current benchmark rate of 3.5% and real interest sitting between 5 and 6% for a normal loan, that is an excellent state in the market to invest, especially if we, and I've said it before, look at the rental vacancy of around 1% and plenty more people coming into Australia. Now, those people need to live somewhere. Ergo, we need more buildings. Ergo, there is going to be more pressure on the building market that is getting smaller. Ergo, there will be substantial price increases in the rentals. So anybody that's got a property, hang on for dear life. In my view, there's great times in regards to rental returns ahead. Now, it also means that the builders that are remaining in the market will be even more busy, and I think some of them will have to increase their prices substantially. And we've seen that already. I would argue the fact that building pricing has gone up between 25 to a third, 25% to 33%, which was a function of the pandemic, which was the function of the overheating building market, and which was a function of the trades and the contractors being paid a lot more. Now, the pressure is coming off the market, no question. So we can build readily again in areas where there was 12-month wait. So all in all, from where I'm sitting, great deals to be had. The situation looks rosy. The situation looks fairly stable. I don't believe something, unless there is a black swan event, that we will see another rate rise for at least 6 months. We may even see around July, August, September, small drops, because the impact of the large increases in the interest rates is just now filtering through to the households. We've got a family member that has, through the increases, experienced $1,000 more payments required per month. Now, how do you do that when you've got a fixed income? And most of us are used to spend the money that we have. So now you're in the hole by $1,000 a month. That is a huge figure. So yeah, be very interesting to see what happens. I still say that there is a great situation in the market, especially the NDIS, SDA market, the specialist disability accommodation. If those are done right, they are a magnificent money spinner. And they will provide capital gains as well if you are in the right locations. Now, caveat emptor, buyer beware, there is a lot of sharks in that water. And there is a lot of shenanigans going on. Now, the biggest risk mitigation proposal that I have for you in that industry, in that sector, is make sure that you've got tenants lined up. A good arranger, a good property strategist, a good provider will be able to secure you tenants before you build. That's the salient point. All right. So, summary. As far as I'm concerned, there is some certainty in regards to interest. The building industry is tight. The rental vacancy is as low as ever. We will have more people coming into Australia. Good times ahead. And remember, you gotta be in it to win it. Have a good one.